Jeff here. Holy smoke, I had a stroke. It's been 2008 days since I had my stroke on January 27th, 2019. But who's counting? I mean, I guess I am. It was pretty terrifying. I guess I probably shouldn't qualify that. It was terrifying. Still remains the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And although the impacts of my stroke could have been severe physically, unfortunately they weren't. I have some continuing evolving symptoms. For brain injuries, symptoms are never set in stone, they evolve. So the implications of my stroke, the evolution of my symptoms stopped somewhere around 6 months or a year. So I still have hemispheric thermoception problems, which sounds very complicated, and I suppose it is, and but the right side of my body feels temperature the way I felt before the stroke, and the left side of my body, basically right down the middle, my perception of temperature 100% changed or became disconnected to the reality that the right side of my body has. So, for example, this delicious and refreshing iced coffee feels cold and refreshing on this side. In this hand, it feels like it's on fire. And on the side of my face, I mean, it feels like I'm putting a hot coal to my face. So it's pretty strange. It doesn't, like the lizard brain part, which is the part that makes you drop things, which is called vasovagal response, is still works. So I don't drop cold things, but they feel different. I have central pain syndrome, which is I feel pain that's just in my brain, the same way like an amputee might feel pain in an arm that has been amputated. So the symptoms of my stroke are still there. They still are evolving, but the biggest implication for my stroke is the mental health component of it. So I ended up, after a time, suffering from PTSD as a result of the stroke. And I'm going to talk further about that in another video. I sought alternative treatments for PTSD, both therapy, talk therapy, and ketamine treatments, which there's a protocol for ketamine treatment for PTSD that is in the Harvard medical journals. It's a series of treatments. I received treatment at a clinic here in Richmond, Virginia called Alchemy Wellness, and it was a game changer for me. The PTSD that I suffered from as a result of the stroke was unexpected, to be sure. And I'm going to go into some of this in a further video, but I wanted to just make sure that we're talking about stroke in a way that is accessible. I did not seek treatment for my stroke, and am incredibly lucky that I can dress myself, walk without a cane or a walker. But, I think for me, the implications of my stroke were much more about the mental health implications than they are about the physical implications. And so for those of you who are a caregiver for a stroke survivor, or somebody in your family who's had a heart attack or other significant health scare, there are significant mental health implications for that. And you should keep that in mind as a healthcare provider, as a caregiver, or as a survivor of something like a stroke or severe car accident. Anything that results in kind of a, call it a near-death experience, should consider the implications of mental health. And if you have somebody who is a stroke survivor and they're having difficulty, dig deeper into whether or not there's mental health implications that are causing challenges with their therapies and so forth. So again, 2,000 plus days since my stroke, I'm doing incredibly well, and incredibly grateful for the fact that my stroke did not have long-term visible implications, but be aware that there are mental health implications to stroke. And most importantly, know the signs of a stroke and seek treatment, or help somebody seek treatment if they are having any of the signs of stroke. Think in terms of the acronym they use is FAST. Face, facial drooping, one side or the other. Arms, can somebody raise their arms? And if they can raise their arms, and there's one falls, it's called extinction, the inability to hold that. So face, arms, speech, slurred speech, inability to understand speech, impaired thought I had, which is why I didn't seek treatment. T, fast, face, arms, time, face, arms, speech, time to call 911. Face, arms, speech, time to call 911. I'm going to go further into my discussion of PTSD and my treatment with ketamine in another video.